Good afternoon, all you lovely people. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Doodleman149, as you know, and today I'm going to give you all my first thoughts on Modern Warfare 2, and we're going to get started right now. As many of you know, I fell in love with Modern Warfare 2019. That was the first Call of Duty I really put any time into in regards to the multiplayer, and it made me really anticipate the next Call of Duty. Unfortunately, Cold War sucks ass. It just wasn't for me, and there was nothing about Vanguard that was going to make me buy it. Turns out, if anything, I'm an Infinity Ward fan. Treyarch and Sledgehammer, take your games and shove them. So what does all this have to do with the video? Well, Modern Warfare 2022 is coming out later this year, of course. With a new Modern Warfare on the horizon, I felt it was worth looking at Modern Warfare 2019 and figuring out exactly what I'm hoping to get from this year's Call of Duty. There was so much that I loved in Modern Warfare 2019 that it'll be hard to find new things to add to the formula to give us the next stellar installment in the Call of Duty series. Instead, I feel like this is mostly going to be things I don't want to see in Modern Warfare 2022. I'll try to stay positive though with my thoughts, since I am, for once, looking forward to a new Call of Duty. First thing I'd like to address is the Gunsmith. The Gunsmith was a fantastic addition to Call of Duty and to military shooters in general. Giving us so much weapon customization was fantastic, especially when there were so many combos you could make for any given weapon. Being able to make blueprints and inspect your finished weapon was also a blast. Plus, it made getting thumbnails super easy. I'm looking at you, Battlefield 2042. However, what I've seen from the Gunsmith from Vanguard has me worried. 10 attachments on a weapon is simply too much. There's too much that can be done to a weapon that you can just make it a huge balance issue. People complained about weapon balance in MW 2019. That Gunsmith only allowed for 5 attachments. How on earth could they manage to balance weapons with literally twice as many attachments? This is probably a factor in the decreased interest in Sledgehammer's latest fuck-up. That being said, sticking with only 5 attachments and all, Gunsmith can still be improved. While this isn't really a factor with Gunsmith itself, I feel there could be more unique attachments to make every weapon feel like its own thing. For all the weapons in Modern Warfare 2019, there were certainly a number of weapons that were basically identical on a practical level. The Kilo 141, the M4A1, and the Grau 556 were all very similar weapons, all things considered. There was little that made each stand out against the others except for the original low recoil of a maxed out Grau. I feel if each weapon had a more unique feel to it, certainly some would be overlooked for better weapons, but, there would at least be more variety in playstyles and weapon builds. Not every rifle needs 60-round magazines. Thinking a little more outside the box with unique attachments would go a long way to making gunsmithing more fun and interesting. Next up, we have perk balance and field upgrades. I personally love the balance of perks in Modern Warfare. I thought everything was in a proper perk slot so that you couldn't have one godly perk set, and that there was more room for experimentation. I'm glad Dead Silence was a field upgrade and not a perk, that way you don't have some 200-pound operator running around without making a sound and without being visible on the radar. Sure, you can't have a full stealth build, but let's be honest, is Call of Duty really a stealth shooter? No, it isn't. You can play stealthily, sure, with a suppressor and ghost, but you shouldn't be literally undetectable outside of line of sight confirmation. This is just my opinion though, so feel free to debate me on it. In addition to this, I feel like some perks need reworks as well. I don't know if this new Modern Warfare will have all the perks carry over from the 2019 iteration, but if it does, I have some suggestions for perk improvement. Ghost should be changed to only be effective if you're moved within the last 2 seconds. In other words, if you're corner camping and not moving, you should be able to appear on a UAV scan. This would directly resolve one of the biggest complaints fans had about MW 2019, and that is camping. Shrapnel should also be adjusted to just apply to throwables, preventing the double claymore proxy mine issue. Also, all these perks I hear about in Vangay that directly counter other perks, literally in their descriptions, should not be a thing. Get rid of that stupid shit. Sure, perks can counter each other, but the perk shouldn't literally only be there to counter another perk. It needs something interesting to do on its own as well. On that note, don't put perks in the battle pass. That's fucking scummy. And no one with 2 brain cells to rub together thinks this is a good idea for the game. Just Cracktivision being fucking greedy again. My last hope for Modern Warfare 2 is that it doesn't just exist in order to support Warzone again. Modern Warfare 2019 suffered from so many bugs and hiccups late in its life cycle because of the game's integral connection to Warzone. Some Warzone updates would literally break Modern Warfare and make it unplayable. This needs to stop for the sequel. Unfortunately, I know MW 2019's fate is already sealed as the base of Warzone, but Modern Warfare 2 can certainly be its own title that doesn't need to be affected by Warzone changes. I used to enjoy Warzone before Cold War integration, but I can't get over how that game mode destroyed the base game that I actually paid money for. If Infinity Ward can keep its content out of Raven's shit-covered claws, MW2 can be a stellar standalone title that can integrate back into Warzone if it needs to. While there isn't really any solid info for Modern Warfare 2 yet, it's coming later this year, but I'm excited for this next iteration regardless. If these three things are addressed to not only preserve the high quality of Modern Warfare, but also to improve on some of its mechanics, then this game could easily be my next great time sink. I was hoping that Battlefield 2042 would be the next shooter to dominate my channel, and while it has of late, it really isn't that great, and I'm looking forward to another shooter already. Speaking of 2042, I've decided to forego doing any character work for Modern Warfare 2. I've always had fun doing my varied voices for different styles of video, but I realize that doesn't appeal to everyone, so for whatever I cover in regards to Modern Warfare 2, it'll just be plain old me, Doodleman149. For those of you who are here for my Sea of Thieves content, however, I'll continue to do my characters there, so don't worry if you're a fan of that. And with that, I'm all done here. You can all consider this my return to active video creation now that Rory has arrived and Aaron and I have gotten things settled and sorted for the time being. I know my game time will continue to be limited, but I'll work hard to at least get my weekly content out for those of you who actually look forward to it. To the rest of you, I hope you enjoy my content going forward regardless. I might just make a true fan out of you yet. I'll probably put out a subscriber special update video as soon enough to let you all know what changes may be coming to the channel other than what I've already mentioned. So remember, as I asked before, feel free to debate me on my take on stealth gameplay in COD, and I'd like to ask you all for some feedback on my thumbnails. I'm trying to get better, but I'd like to know what works and what doesn't for you. So with that, I've been Doodleman149, you've all been awesome, I'll see you in the comments section, and I will see you later.